I wanted to do a little video on how to code in an extra confirmation candle. I'm going to be using the solar wind indicator as an example, but you could use any kind of indicator setup. I'm just going to be showing you how to code in an extra confirmation candle. I just turned off the charts. This was the live market around 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on a NASDAQ 1-minute chart. It's now technically Thursday, March 7th. I'll show you what solar wind settings I'm using too. But basically I want to have a confirmation candle after one of these solar wind signals appears. I want the next candle to confirm the move that the signal is predicting. So here we have a short signal. I want to have a confirmation candle in the same direction going short before I take an entry. For instance, this candle right here, we get a long signal, but price doesn't close above. And you can see the price reversed and probably would have stopped us out. But using a confirmation candle, we would never enter this trade. Same with this short. We never got another close below this initial short signal candle. So first off, let me show you what special settings that I'm using for the solar wind. Did you know you can use a setting less than the number 1? I've got 0.5 as the multiplier trend and a number 1 as the offset multiplier stop. All the rest of the settings are the default settings. I've got all of the plots and the stops disabled. I just want to see the bar color. I've also disabled pullback and strengthening signals. I'm just interested in the trend start. In Strategy Builder, on this strategy that I've created to take the solar wind trades plus a confirmation candle, I've got my usual target and stop, and I've added one more variable. And this is for a tick amount. I've got it set to a default of 5. But basically I want this confirmation candle to close a certain amount of ticks away from the signal candle. And I want to be able to customize that in my backtest results and also on the strategy. So I've already made an entire step-by-step video on how to build this strategy with solar wind. So if you haven't seen that and you need a little extra help, please check out that video. This strategy is only trading for 1 hour a day, right at the New York Open, 9:30 to 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. For the short signal, you can see I've got my NINZA solar wind, and I've got my special settings with the offset multiplier trend as 0.5 and the multiplier stop as 1. And then I've chosen equals a -1, that's for the short. So besides this special setting, I've got the value plot signal trade. That's what I've selected. And I've got equals -1, -1. That's for the short. And the other very important thing that I've changed is under the general category in the NINZA solar wind. The bars ago is usually 0. I've changed it to 1. So before, this strategy was taking the signal 0 bars ago on the current bar. When this signal printed, it would go short. But now I want to look 1 bar ago for the solar wind signal. And for the current bar, I'm going to look for a close that's lower than the signal candle by a certain amount of ticks. So here's my new condition for the confirmation candle. I want the close of the current candle 0 bars ago to be less than the close of the previous bar 1 bar ago. For the properties, I want the offset to be ticks, and for the amount, I want to set this as my user input, the user input that I created, ticks. And then I want to do the opposite for the long. For the enter long action, I've got my solar wind condition, I've got my settings of 0.5 and 1, and you can use whatever settings you like here or also make them customizable with your own user inputs. Make sure it's looking at 1 bar ago and the value plot is the signal trade, equals, this time +1, just regular number 1. That's for the long signal. And then for the confirmation candle, this time we want the close of the current bar, 0 bars ago, to be greater than the close 1 bar ago by a certain amount of ticks, our user input of ticks. And that's it. I've already attached this strategy to a chart and run it on market replay data to make sure it's firing appropriately. Everything was working absolutely fine. It was firing on the candle directly after the signal candle, and only if it closed below by a certain amount of ticks or above by a certain amount of ticks. So that's very important. You want to test your strategy and make sure that it's firing off properly the way it's supposed to be. So this is literally the first backtest that I did. I did a very general 1-to-1 ratio, 80 tick target, 80 tick stop, which is 20 points on the NASDAQ. And I just ran the tick size as 1, so basically just closing 1 tick below, just to get a baseline idea. This is on the NQ chart, the 1-minute chart, testing about 6 weeks of data from January 8th to March 1st. I didn't want to test the first week of January or most of December because the volatility was completely different. I want to see my results with more of the recent kind of market volatility. Got commissions included, and this is just trading 1 hour a day from 9:30 to 10:30. We came out with $7,600 net profit, $1,200 in commission, 51% profitable. The drawdown is a little high, $3,000. Let's see if I bump up the tick size. So that means our confirmation candle after the signal would have to close below the previous candle by at least 5 ticks. See, that gave us a little bit better results. We're up over $9,000 now. The max drawdown also went up. What if we double that to 10 ticks? So that's a pretty good improvement. Over $11,000 after commissions. The percent profitable went up a little bit. Drawdown is still a little bit high. I'd probably want to play around with some things a little bit more. But this gives me a general idea that this is working out fairly well. Although none of these past results guarantee any kind of future performance. You gotta just take backtesting for what it is, just another tool. But I thought I'd share how you can add an extra confirmation candle to any kind of signal that you have coded so you can miss out on false breakouts. And I also just wanted to share this new solar trend setting. I didn't know that you could go below a whole number into a decimal kind of number. I thought that was an exciting feature for finding extra short-term trends. Thanks for watching. I hope you got some good ideas for your own trading. Have a great day.